So this is a disclaimer. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just explaining how things work and options you could or could not take. Okay. So the basic concept to understand is that if there is a note on a property that you are working and you want to refinance that house out, the bank will refi you out 80% of your total cost, rehab plus purchase price, the day you say it's appraisal ready, whenever the rehab's done. So, this is what I learned this week. I've been recommending people wait for the appraisal until the tenant's in there. But Michael is saying you can take the appraisal as soon as the rehab's done. I will get his thoughts on whether it helps if there's a tenant stuff in there, if it looks like it's better appraisal worthy or not. But he's saying, no, people are doing it as soon as the rehab is done. So the thing to remember, there's a note on the property. It'll be called a rate and term refi, and 80%, which is nice because I also only thought they were refining out 75%. Now here is, for those of you who are planning to use your own cash, and then Rye, if you could cut this video out, this needs to go out on every Berkey offer. But if there is no note on the property, the bank will only refi out 75% of your purchase price and closing costs. That's a big deal. If you're buying a $200,000 house and your purchase price is like 130 and your rehab is another 30 and you're all in for 160, if the bank only refis out 75% of your purchase price, which is 135, you still get the house on like a 20% discount, but you're not able to maximize all your cash. You're going to leave more cash than you need to in that deal. So that's the dilemma to overcome. Like I said, who's this affect? People using their own cash. Yeah, go ahead, Ross.
So I was gonna say, so have you like run some numbers on that? Cause like I'm doing one with you right now that I did cash, right? So obviously I'm going to get the 75% on the back side, but I'm curious, using your own cash versus paying the hard money lender, obviously other people's money, whatever. But like if you're using the hard money lender and you're paying 2 points up front to get that money, like what's the math on that 5% difference? Have you guys had a chance to crunch any of that yet?
I haven't crunched numbers, but out of concept, if you got the cash, I wouldn't use hard money.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Right.
But I do have an interesting,
so yes, I'm getting 5% less, but
I have an interesting solution so you can get around this.
I'm all ears.
Okay.
Awesome.
And it might be too late for you, but you can do it on your next one. So this will affect people who are using their own cash. And so now here are the possible workarounds. So one option would be for you to purchase a house for your purchase price plus your closing costs plus your rehab cost. So how would that work? We would put all of that as your purchase price, and then we would take your rehab cost and we would send it to our construction company, but it would then go be one transaction. Does that make sense what I just said?
Yes.
Can I ask a
Yeah, that's awesome.
Why wouldn't you always do that?
Do what?
Just make it one giant transaction if you're paying cash, as opposed to
that would require a cooperative seller, no?
No. Well, I'm the cooperative seller.
They could buy the house directly and then, then you do a simultaneous close and all that's wrapped in.
Yes. Jason, to answer your question, just out of principle, like I use Black Knight Construction for my own personal flips, and I don't give those sons of bitches any more money than they've earned.
Guys, so again, it goes back to the trust, and you're trusting the fact that you're going to do the work you say. And
yes,
yeah,
you are.
I just want to say, sometimes you could also use a 0% credit card to fund part of the rehab. So for that reason, I guess they wouldn't want to include it in the cost of the rehab, but it's a terrific solution.
That's genius. Let me double check that with Michael to make sure that counts as far as having a note on it. But that's Tiffany. That's truly genius.
Thank you. Here to help everybody.
Great contribution this month. I'd miss you. Thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, no, I need to be here. Excited.
So what do you do in the case, Jimmy, that the rehab costs less or more? You reimburse the person?
Yeah.
All said and done, or bill them? Okay.
We would reimburse. And then, Christy, give me a to-do, please, to check with our attorney on how we should structure the contracts for this. Yeah. So we'll set up a legal contract so you guys aren't just flapping in the wind. But does that make sense what I said, Jason? Just out of principle,
100%.
Generally you don't pay a contractor until he's got the work done.
Makes total sense.
But for this scenario, I think it might be worth the risk.
So does it have to be a private lender because it wouldn't appraise at that amount?
So private lender is the best case scenario.
I guess a hard money lender would require an appraisal, which you probably wouldn't be able to get at the initial acquisition without the
You're-
rehab.
You're kind of talking about a cash workaround here though, right?
Yeah, the reason hard money, the points crush you on Berkeys. Points on a flip, not as painful. Points on a Berkey, a long-term buy and hold, more painful.
Yeah, I'm literally going through this as we speak, trying to figure out whether I should pay cash or do the hard money.
Do you mind sharing?
Not at all. 11.25%, 2 points.
So do you have the cash yourself?
I do.
Okay.
But the issue is the rehab's pretty high. The rehab's 70. So that's if it was only 20, 30, I wouldn't care as much, obviously. But it's a decent chunk that I'm gonna end up not getting back.
Yeah. Who are you? And then are you doing this with a buddy, or I thought you mentioned you're doing this with somebody else?
No, just that was a story of way back when I was looking at investing a while ago. I was with my brother-in-law. This is completely on my own.
How tight are you with your brother-in-law?
Pretty tight, but he's a doctor, but he doesn't have a lot of cash right now. He's young.
So the other option is have a spouse, a close family member, or a friend's LLC lend you the money. Now, how that LLC gets the cash, none of my business. I don't want to
done
know.
I've done it, Jimmy.
Well, I don't want to know.
I'm in the middle of one of those right now. It's awesome.
It's great. Yeah,
You just have to
Cool.
trust your wife. That's all.
that's
Right.
it. Don't get divorced.
So since you all have your bots on, and I have no idea where this recording could or could not go, it is none of my business how that LLC gets the cash. But if that LLC, and then if you wanted to try this, Jason, we will have the paperwork for you so you can create the note and do all those things. But the key thing, guys, is to have that note so you can refi out 80% of all of it.
And question, Jimmy, that 80% might be more significant to what you've paid for the house. And with the rehab, is there any potential of getting more money or pretty close to all the money you've put in out on the first, refi?
I doubt the bank will put cash in your pocket with
Okay.
the best terms. And that I forget, there's rate and term and then something cash out refi. Cash out refi terms are not as good.
Okay, but 20% in this is a much better vehicle with the way you suggest the structure.
Yeah,
But
to
if you're
maximize
married-
that, what I love about Berkeys is you guys all come here with a big pile of cash. And then problem with turnkeys is like, boom, that's a big chunk of cash. I'm never getting back, getting a great asset, but not getting it back. With the Berkeys, I can keep this big pile of cash living as long as possible.
I thought you just said you couldn't get the money back on the cash out refi since they're requiring you to put 20% down.
Yeah, but if you're on
He's
the
talking
house
of the
at 80%
ARV.
of its value, you're good. Now a turnkey, you put your down payment in and that's gone forever until you do a cash out refi when the house appreciates.
If your wife is the owner of the LLC that owns your note, she's also controlling the payoff being sent as part of the refi process. And that's how you don't end up in a short sale, but that's how you could end up on the positive side as well.
Yeah, and so on the note, I would structure all my notes and say interest paid at closing. Because where other people have gotten in trouble is they said interest paid monthly and then they didn't pay the interest. And then the bank was like, that's bullshit.
Right.
So Mike, are you doing that right now or you've already done it?
I'm in the middle of the refi on it right now.
Cool. What about you, Tracy?
What about me? Where?
Did you do the same thing?
Yeah, I did my wife's got the LLC and we're actually making payments into the LLC. So we have a paper trail showing that it's being paid as a mortgage.
Sweet. So like worst case scenario, you still get a great deal, still get a great house, still get it undervalued. But I like to maximize all levers in real estate. So this is just a strategy. Make sure you're able to lever everything. And then, so Christy, I'd like this segment of the video to get on every Berkey offer. So if you're watching this and this is like 90 days from now, reach out to Christy and I, and we will help walk you guys through this, and our lenders will help you guys as well.